When a birder lines up behind the camera, aims their viewfinder toward the bird, gets the focus, and then presses the shutter button, it's a heart-racing, exciting moment that a lot of people wouldn't understand. To us, it's not just a bird. It's this beautiful, fascinating, odd, but wonderful being that is unendingly interesting to observe. Where were you? Finally getting that chance.
Took some photos from inside the truck.
We'll see how our luck is today. To those who don't understand bird photography, it might make sense to compare it to something you might be more familiar with. For those who do understand bird photography, what I just said, and most of what I'm about to talk about, will ring true. In this video, I'm going to attempt to give the non-birder an insight into what draws birders into it and why they become so passionate. Let's say you're a fan of a certain sport, perhaps soccer or football, baseball, motorsports, or mixed martial arts. Or perhaps it's something else that gets your heart racing, like video games or gambling. The excitement a birder feels when they see a new or rare bird or capture a unique situation is like when your player makes a killer shot, gets the home run, wins the race, or KOs their opponent. It's like a video game player leveling up, collecting rare items, or unlocking a secret. The exhilaration is much like winning at the casino. It's intense what a bird fanatic feels in the moment. The biggest difference is that you can't celebrate in the moment. You need to stay focused so that you can take the photos or the video and record your experience, because the subject is usually extremely skittish. Though in your head, you're jumping for joy, pumping your fists in the air. The actual celebration, well, that needs to wait. Why is it that people become bird fanatics? I'll tell you why I think that is, but first I want to tell you about how I became a birder officially. I've always had a love for wildlife and the outdoors, and at around the age of 19, I took up photography because I wanted to capture every moment. During the beginning years, I photographed everything. It was years later that I started to focus more on wildlife and landscapes. And it's only been in the last few years that I've become completely enthralled with bird photography. So why? Why is it that bird photography hooked me? As I captured more and more bird photographs, I began to notice just how many different types of birds there were. I think it might not be something you realize until you actually start looking. Within just a few short kilometers from my house, I found so many different species of birds. That diversity was incredibly intriguing to me. I suddenly found myself wanting to learn about all the different birds that I was seeing in my viewfinder. Suddenly, my photography goals changed. I wanted to try and get an image of every single bird in my area. Here's an interesting fact. Scientists estimate that over 95% of bird species have been officially cataloged, and it's said that there are approximately 10,000 different bird species on Earth, with just over 900 of those being in North America. That means that there are possibly a number of undiscovered bird species after all this time. Can you believe that? I wanted to capture each bird in as epic and gorgeous of a photo as I could. And as every bird photographer will agree, you may get an image that is absolutely bonkers incredible, and you admire it for a bit, but then you want to get better, closer, and sharper photos. You want the light to be just right with the bird at this angle and that. It seems no photo is ever good enough. You just want to build out your collection of photographs and collect all the birds to proudly display in your photo gallery. The challenge is another thing that absolutely drew me into it. Bird photography will take you to places you never thought you'd go. It means waking up early and editing late, dealing with the weather and being wet in the rain, frozen and covered in snow, or hot and baked by the sun, battling with insects and plants that give you rashes. This is the result of going out into the woods over the last few days. Learning about bird behavior so you can increase the opportunities and the quality of the photos you take. Devoting great amounts of time and effort and to going where the birds are. Birding is an adventure.
Very, very careful.
To add to the challenge, some birds can only be found seasonally because of migration, shortening the window of time you have to photograph them. The thing is, though, I love every minute of it. Getting those bucket list photos is so damn rewarding. Some of these birds are so fast, and some have such incredible camouflaging that it's difficult to even see them, let alone get them in your viewfinder. One particularly humbling and sometimes vexing aspect of bird photography is that you aren't in control of much of anything. Birds don't follow your schedule or care that you're facing the wrong way or aren't standing in the good light. They just live their lives and you have to adapt and overcome. I think the reasons why I became a birder are the same reasons that a lot of people get into it. Trying to get photos of all the species and take more and more epic photos is addictive, and your skills as a photographer are really challenged. Cheers everyone, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you made it to the end, you might as well subscribe, what the heck. Go ahead. That'd be cool. Take care, everyone.